If you mind your business, then you won't be minding mine.
Welcome back, everybody. Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220. The first show, because what is it, Tilo?
Inaugural.
Yeah, that's our show.
Inaugural show.
You can say debut.
And it's a Mind Your Own Business with Ed and Doug, or Doug and Ed, whatever your pleasure is.
You always remember your first.
So Ed, you gonna introduce our first guest?
Yeah, he's my first guest. Steve Youlios of Jersey Mike's. I feel he's famous, but you know, it's like anybody. Some people may not know who he is.
I don't know if he's famous, but his sandwiches at his shops
and I've watched him grow faster. He hasn't gotten fatter, but his stores have. When I met you, Steve, you had one store?
One store.
Yeah, so and we, the day we became partners in 25 Score, we were both sitting at the Saugus boutique, and we had another business selling tween jewelry. I am so glad we don't do it anymore. But I went up to Steve and I said, you know, how you doing, Steve? And he says, oh, Ed, I've got the paperwork on my desk. I was helping the previous owner. And he says, you know, I'll get around to it eventually. And I just said, don't worry about it. I just want to let you know, I bought 25 Score, and it was like the first conversation right after like switching over. And Steve says, come see me on Monday. And he was my very first advertiser with a new company, and it was within 2 hours of buying the company. And we've been joined at the hip since. And but I wanted to let you talk a little bit about your experience with what we're doing and what makes Jersey Mike's great.
Well, first of all, the experience with 25 Score, I was very, as I've told you before, very reluctant, reticent to form a relationship, because my theory or philosophy at that time is, you know, basically that the customers are going to be coming into my store anyway, and I don't say that in an arrogant fashion.
No.
And that, you know, why would I want to do something that only made it seem that we're giving them a discount because they saw the sticker in the window?
No, you can do that by yourself. You just put a sign, 10% off. You walk through the door.
And you know, just getting to know you and just listening to what you were doing. Of course, I've got to admit, and I don't mean this to be only flattering, but it was a lot because of you and your personality and your enthusiasm and your passion for it that really made me feel comfortable in giving it another try. Because I think at that time the 25 Score wasn't quite as... It was,
at best, it was drifting.
Right. And you know, you really convinced me the value of having a discount card in that fashion, because it not only brings new people in potentially, but also makes the people who are coming in on a regular basis become even more frequent. You know, frequent your business more regularly.
We've looked at a lot of the merchants that had come on where their customers were coming in once every 6 weeks, and some of the ones that were perceived as a higher dollar amount. The kids, and a lot of the kids, they'll make a buying decision based on 75 cents. You know, they know exactly to the penny what they can spend for lunch, and if it's $5.75, they'll buy it. If it's $6.25, they go, oh, what a ripoff. And this is the mentality of the kids. And we have 10,000 high school kids that are carrying these scorecards. They'll make the decision based on that, and they'll come every day instead of once every 6 weeks.
You know, along those lines, our product is not obviously the least expensive in town. We'd like to think there are a lot of reasons why. But to that point, we've done a lot of promotions when we have grand openings that involve high schools. And, you know, the kids are obviously excited to come in. We give them free sandwiches for a donation. And the bottom line is that after then, when we go back to our regular pricing, you lose the kids. But now that they have an opportunity to have a discount through a card like 25 Score, it really makes a difference for them to be able to afford to come in and realize the value of it.
Yeah, and what I like about Steve is that he is what I call the proverbial best case scenario for a business owner. And I'll explain.
Is that because I have a 25 Score merchant?
No,
oh, okay.
No. I would say that about you even if you weren't one, but because the role model is that he cares about everyone that walks in his store. There is nobody who's been in the Jersey Mike's in all 4 stores with the up that don't know him and he doesn't know their name. And I think that's what you need to do. Go ahead, Doug.
No, I was just to say we want to tell the folks that if you're just tuning in, we're Mind Your Own Business with Doug and Ed on AM 1220 KHTS, and we're talking to Steve. Steve, where are your locations?
We have 4 open. We're opening up a 5th one later this year. Our locations are in Saugus, at the corner of Bouquet and New Hall Ranch Road. Our second location is up in Stevenson Ranch on the Old Road. Then we also have one in Valencia on Copper Hill Drive. We have one in Canyon Country, which is on Soledad, and the new one that we're going to be opening probably around April is going to be in Golden Valley in that new shopping center.
Oh, wow, good.
Yeah,
good. If I may, Steve, did your company, your stores feel the recession like everybody else did?
That's a great question. You know, I've been very blessed and very fortunate. It hasn't been as hasn't had as much impact for us as it has on other restaurants, and the real reason for that is it's a great quality product and it's at a price point that is affordable. Granted, a little higher than other sandwich locations, but when you have something like that, then the family, the person going out for lunch, can afford to do it. Can afford to do it regularly. Our nighttime business for dinner is fabulous. Again, because you can come in and get some terrific sandwiches that are healthy for you. You can take them home, and they really do work as a dinner for the family, and it's affordable.
We have a niece named Rachel that came out to visit us a few years back, and we went in and talked to Steve and said she's allergic to all these different things. And I just remember Steve bringing all the boxes out of the back to make sure it didn't have soy and something. And when we determined that the bread might have something she might be allergic to, he said, go next door to the store, find bread that she can eat.
That's right.
And I'll keep the loaf here for the whole week while she's here, so I can make a sandwich for her. That's the kind of guy he is. So it's just the big heart that he's done. Every kid in high school wants to work at Jersey Mike's. Because it's a fun place to work, and he teaches you how to work.
Thank you.
Steve, are you going to be able to hang around over the break?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
We got some games for you, so we're going to learn more about Steve.
All right, folks, you're listening to Mind Your Own Business with Doug and Ed on AM 1220 KHTS. We'll be right back. Mind Your Own Business, everybody. That's the name of the show. I'm not telling you, mind your own business. This is Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm Doug Sutton with Ed Bernstein and producer Tilo. And should we have some Facebook friends already?
Yes, we have a bunch of Facebook friends already, and I'm going to read one of them to you guys right now. This is from Carmen, and she says, I'm setting up a business and using local businesses for my signs, office goods, and everything else I can. When you support local companies, they will support you. I believe that very much. Great message. Thanks, Carmen, from Gold Keys Realty.
So everybody's going to be calling her for signs. Go on 25 Score and call some of those people on there. They'll be happy to help you with a discount.
All right.
So
Tilo, how do they get a hold of us on Facebook?
If you want your comment to be read on our show, just go to our Mind Your Own Business Facebook page or add Ed Bernstein on Facebook and private message us, and maybe your comment will be read on our show.
the Ed Bernstein in Vegas is going, why are people writing all these questions to me? So we have Steve Youlios in the house still. And we have a rapid fire get to know you questionnaire to give him before we ask him more questions.
Okay.
Doug's going to do this.
Steve will require this of all our guests.
It's called all the shows we've done this to.
Yeah. It's called Doug and Ed's Rapid Response.
Okay.
No us.
No us. No
Answer.
Pauses. First thing that comes to your mind. If you pause, I move to the next
Can you
question.
say pass if he doesn't know? Just say pass.
Yeah. You can say pass if you don't want to answer. You ready?
Ready.
Favorite time of day?
Morning.
Favorite day of the week?
Pass.
Favorite holiday?
Easter.
Favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite food?
Greek food, period.
First concert?
You can't say, I can't say, oh my gosh. Smokey Robinson.
Favorite musical artist?
Paul McCartney.
Last movie you saw?
The Les Miserables.
Favorite actor or actress?
Pass.
First TV show you remember as a kid?
Oh boy. Sorry, I can't think that
Favorite
quickly.
TV show now?
The Mentalist.
Left or right?
Right.
Favorite sport?
Baseball.
First name of first kiss?
Lori.
Bathrobe or no bathrobe?
None.
Okay, this is the most important question of all. You ready?
Okay.
Boxers, briefs, thong, or commando?
What if I say none? Is that problem?
That's commando.
Okay.
I refuse to answer that.
Right, exactly.
Tilo decided she'd want to answer the last question.
All right, Steve, you passed.
Thank you.
passed.
What's the prize?
The Jersey Mike sandwich.
All right, I'll go for that.
I'm really respectful of the fact that he said Mediterranean, so he eats a lot of sandwiches during the day. His favorite is a different kind of food.
Real quick, Steve,
Yes.
what's the history of Jersey Mike? I don't know, maybe some folks, but I don't know.
Fabulous, fabulous history. Jersey Mike's Subs was a little teeny sub shop in a little town called Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey. Nice little shore town, unfortunately devastated by the recent hurricane. But young man Mike that own the sub shop like to hire a lot of the local kids from the high schools, like to give them a chance to have their first job and help them to grow. One of those young men was a gentleman by the name of Peter Cancro, and Peter was played football at the local high school. When Peter was ready to graduate high school, Mike was about ready to sell his sub shop, wanted to retire, and put his store up for business. Peter, 17 years old, said, "Hey, how about me? I'd like to buy it." And Mike said, "Are you serious?" And with the help of his high school football coach, the local bank, at 17 years old, he bought Mike's Subs, one little location in Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey. 1986, he started to franchise it. We're now closing in on 600 stores nationwide. California is a big growth area, the West Coast in general, and Peter is just an amazing, amazing man.
What would you say, Steve, sets aside your sandwiches, sets it apart from, I won't even say their name, but the other ones that are all over the place?
Everything is fresh. We bake our bread fresh from scratch every morning. Everything that we have is fresh meats that are Jersey Mike's brand. We slice them right in front of the customer. It doesn't get fresher than that. All of our produce, locally grown produce, by the way, to go back to the young lady's Facebook comment, everything is locally grown produce. We slice it fresh every morning. So the ingredients that we put on the sandwich really cannot be better. We don't keep anything for another day. If we have leftover, unfortunately, we can't use it because everything is that fresh. We have a certain way that we make our sandwiches called Mike's Way, which is an amazing way to make a sandwich. We put a little bit of onion on the sandwich. We then put a little bit of shredded lettuce, top it off with some tomatoes. Then what we do is we sprinkle.
Starving.
The best part, we sprinkle it with olive oil, a little red wine vinegar, some oregano, and you can't resist.
Why didn't I tell him to bring lunch?
Yeah, right. Your wife has champagne, so that would have gone nicely, huh?
Yeah, Steve and I have sat in our office for 2 or 3 hours just chatting, and then on the way home.
No, I was listening.
He feels like he was listening.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah. So the whole thing. This is an hour show. I don't know how that could possibly be. 2 people on it. Wow. But he would call me back on the way back from his office and say, "When do we get to do this again?" And it was something he said to me about a year and a half ago that we were actually. Your mom was sick at one point where we were doing the password for the high schools. We talked about that gardener analogy that he just takes care of your yard, you don't have to talk to him. He had said, "Whatever you're doing, I'm in." And I had epiphany there. I said, I want to be the kind of guy that will allow you to, is it giving you a sign? Allow you to, my wife complains about that too, but the kind of guy that will allow my merchants to trust what I'm doing and be able to be involved with that stuff even if they're out of town. Your mom was sick. We were doing a passport that was going into all the schools, and I took the executive decision because you told me whatever you're doing, I'm in, and I printed your logo out of 5, 10 people.
That's right.
And I wanted to have that relationship with all my merchants, and that's
well, that's one thing that you do, Ed. I really mean that. I mean, when you can trust somebody that you're doing business with, why wouldn't you do that? Because I will say that there's things that we've tried that maybe haven't been the most successful. They're definitely cutting edge that you were thinking of at the time, but you were right there to make sure that it worked for me, even if it meant doing something else together. And that's important because people need to trust who they're doing business with. And people need to like somebody that they're doing business with. When you come in, it's nice and fun because we don't always talk business. It's fun to talk about your family, your boys, whatever it might be, so you build a personal relationship.
And we have the same beliefs. So we want to add value.
Okay, I'm sorry. I want to make sure you clarified that.
Steve, we only have a few minutes left in this segment, but is it hard for you sometimes, a businessman, like if somebody like Ed comes along, to get out of your comfort zone as far as promoting and?
Well, Ed always brings new ideas. So when somebody brings new ideas, it makes you think differently about how you do your business in general. And not every idea that Ed brings necessarily is the right one.
Ideas, not
exactly. They don't necessarily have to go anywhere, but it's nice to be challenged with the way you think about.
So to our listeners who are out there right now, some business folk that might be going, should I try that? What should I do? I mean, you would encourage them. You got to try something.
Oh, absolutely. If you're not trying something new, then you know what, you're going backwards, because there are people out there who will do it better, faster, have new ideas. You got to stay on the cutting edge.
And you're sometimes too busy in your business to know what the edge is.
That's right.
We're out there. That's all we do.
Steve, I want to thank you for coming.
Sure.
Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Okay.
My pleasure.
And best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
I hope we can have you back. If we have you back, can you bring food, man?
Promise.
All right.
Absolutely promise.
All right.
Oh my God.
All right, everybody. We'll be right back. It's Mind Your Own Business with Doug and Ed on AM 1220 KHTS.
Ed and Doug.
Just business and you won't be minding mine.
Right there.